And more breaking news coming in. Vijay Mallya hearing has begun. In fact, we are told that the Supreme Court has awarded jail term to Mallya. It has awarded, the Apex Court has awarded 4 months jail term to a fugitive diamond heir Vijay Mallya and a fine of 2,000 under contempt charge. Adequate punishment is a must, is what the Supreme Court has said in its hearing. So that is the latest coming in. We are told that the Supreme Court has said that Vijay Mallya did not show any remorse and it is necessary to impose punishment. We have our executive editor for legal affairs, Rhythm, also joining us. Rhythm, if you could take us through the arguments and what the Supreme Court is saying right now.
Let's tell our viewers that the breaking news that's coming in from the Supreme Court of India, it's 4 months jail term to fugitive Vijay Mallya that's been given out by the top court of the country. Remember, this was a verdict that came out in 2017 and it's been given out after Vijay Mallya had been held guilty of contempt because he was unable to give details about how he had dispersed USD 40 million, and therefore the Supreme Court had said in 2017, 6 years ago, he will be in contempt. He'd come to the Supreme Court, he'd started and tried to appeal against this, but he didn't come. It was his lawyer who tried to do this. But the Supreme Court today giving 4 months jail time to Vijay Mallya, whom the government is trying to extradite, has said, we must impose adequate sentence on the contemptor to uphold the majesty of law and amounts in dispute for available of execution. Let's also tell our viewers he's facing extradition proceedings in the UK courts that Republic has been tracking, but it's the Supreme Court that was first hearing the matter. And I remember when we were hearing it in the Supreme Court was extremely angry with the affidavits that had been filed by Vijay Mallya when he was unable and not giving details of the assets that had been owned by him, his family, his wife and others. He had been convicted of contempt in the court for transferring USD $40 million to his children, which was in violation of the Supreme Court orders. The Supreme Court has now awarded him a 4-month jail term and a fine of 2,000 under contempt charge. Adequate punishment is a must, the Supreme Court today says. This is also coming after the MHA that had been represented by the Solicitor General of India had said that we are trying to ensure that the proceedings to get him back are met. So even as India continues to try and get Vijay Mallya back to India, the top court of the country, in another big blow to him, says once he is back, once he's extradited, a 4-month jail term will also be there. Supreme Court coming down extremely heavily on him. And also they've given out while passing this, they've given out statements that say we've said in the judgment action in dispersing $40 million was contempt. Therefore, an adequate sentence needs to be given. They say Vijay Mallya did not show any remorse. It's necessary to impose a punishment and uphold the majesty of law, and sentenced him. They directed him to deposit 40 million USD with interest within 4 weeks, which is a big breaking news coming in, and the authorities have been asked to take attachment proceedings in case of his default. So not only has Vijay Mallya today been given out a sentence, but the court has also directed him to deposit the 40 million USD with interest within 4 weeks. And the authorities, if he does not do so, have been told to take attachment proceedings in case of his default. He has been facing double proceedings by the CBI and the ED joint teams in the UK court that asked for his extradition much earlier. As the Supreme Court was to declare this, I also want to say in the last hearing, the 3-judge bench that's been led by Justice Lalit told the Solicitor General the court had waited long enough to have Vijay Mallya brought back, and now it's time the court and this case should see the light of the day. The process must go on. So a big blow coming down on Vijay Mallya. Not only has a cost been imposed because of his contempt, he's also been asked to give back the 40 million US dollars, and also with interest within 4 weeks. Remember, this was 6 years ago on the 9th of May 2017. The Supreme Court had found him guilty of committing contempt of court after he failed to submit details of his assets to the court. I remember we were inside the courtroom when this was happening in the top court, and the top court continued asking questions to his lawyers who were unable to answer about the differences, the discrepancies in the affidavit. It's a very serious charge when an affidavit is filed in black and white before the top court of the country and the court is unable to get proper answers. We remember the consortium of creditors led by the State Bank of India had argued that Mallya had disobeyed court orders by making vague disclosures of the assets and by transferring $40 million payment from the British liquor giant Diageo to his children and ignoring the summons that were given to appear in the court. He had not appeared even once, despite several details having been given several times. The court had given him some sort of a leverage by saying, all right, you can appear before us, but he did not. Remember also, Vijay Mallya continues to pursue appeals in the UK in attempt to overturn a bankruptcy order imposed on him by the High Court in London in July. At a case management hearing in the Chancery Division of the High Court in London, Justice Tom Leach concluded a set of interlinked hearings would be heard together, but that is about the UK court that continued to hear the appeals that had been filed by Mallya. The Supreme Court had to declare the punishment for fugitive liquor baron Vijay Mallya in the 2017 contempt case that has happened. He was ordered to return over 6,200 crores in multiple cases in multiple banks, and Solicitor General had said the banks had recovered a total of 18,000 crores from fugitives such as Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi. But this Vijay Mallya, the 66-year-old fugitive, has been an accused in the bank loan default case involving the now defunct Kingfisher Airlines, which is worth more than 9,000 crores. He's currently in the United Kingdom facing extradition proceedings that are being carried on by a joint mission team of Team India led by the CBI and the ED teams. And what we're really going to now see after the words coming from the Supreme Court are clear, they've also directed him to deposit the 40 million. Will Vijay Mallya be doing this? Will he be able to deposit, and will he deposit the 40 million is crucial. The Supreme Court has also said he did not show any remorse, which is necessary to uphold the majesty of law. Viewers, as this news is coming in, the Supreme Court says if he fails to pay the penalty, jail term is to be extended for 2 months. All right, as we continue staying with this news, as the top court comes down heavily on Vijay Mallya, up next after a short break, we stay with the breaking news alerts coming in from the top court. Stay on with us.